like Fernio. It's like, dude, making overly complex, impossible to read music is okay. It's like whatever. Okay, cool. Like it sounds like you're a scientist in a lab and like you've never talked to a girl. So it's like okay, like good job, man. Sorry, fuck, I accidentally left this. Okay. So it's just like all right, whatever, man. Like that's so he did that and he did like a good job at that. It's like okay, and then he said that's what I made in 2009. Then he said that he like after that he said I tried to like expand and like stop being so overly like technical and like let chance happen and all this. And it's like okay, great. So you're like trying to be John Cage, and then his music sucks. I mean, it's just the worst shit I've ever seen. Like he he filmed a dead dragonfly over some water, which sounds like interesting, kind of, but he literally kept it at one angle. And this is his job talk. So he's trying to get a tenure track job at a pretty big school. Like, Pitt's a good job. Like, there's not many jobs. And he showed a video of a dragonfly dead on like a little, like curled up, kind of dead, and just like about to like crumble into little pieces. And it's on like a spider web. One single strand of a spider web. Not even the whole spider web. Not even an interesting spider web. And that's a shot. We watched a like 12-minute clip of this guy doing that. And then what he did is he got a soprano and he told the soprano to pretend like she was underwater and make sounds like and so the whole piece was her. Mostly what was foregrounded was you watching a dragonfly like over some pond water, not even changing the angle at all, just like, and not even interesting lighting, just like he just took his iPhone camera, did that, and then just imagine like for like 10 minutes. And he said this is me exploring the visual. And like apparently the job description talk was that like they wanted an intermediate person. So it's just, and then the last piece he did was he said that he collaborated with a bunch of high schoolers and he did an orchestral improvisation piece. And we listened to 10 minutes of high schoolers with electric guitars in an orchestra playing the most god-awful, like, terrible, trying to improvise but don't know how to improvise. And we listened to that for 10 minutes. Like, you can imagine what that sounds like, right?
Yeah.
Like, and this is his job talk, man. And he's one of 4. And I heard that there was over 150 plus candidates. But guess what I found out? Wait, okay, good. I got you. Damn, but you didn't go that far back, did you? Did you? Or no, yeah, good. You already got it. Yeah. So then,
you jumped to.
Yeah. And then, what I found out is that Amy went to Northwestern. So it's like, I think she just kind of gave a job talk to one of her buddies. And it's just like, dude, this is the worst thing I could ever believe. You know, it's like the worst fears came true. It's like they're just hiring people based upon like what school they went to. And they have no sense of reality of what sounds good or what sounds bad. And it's really just like a fucking shit show. You know? It's just
that was pretty obvious when I was in school of like, oh, they're only like bringing guests and people and stuff like from people's schools they went to. And then I could see the ones that they brought back from like previous years.
Yeah, dude, it was a fucking shit show. It was fucking terrible. And I was just like, oh, I see. Okay. And then there was one guy who was good. And here's the funny thing. It's like, man, dude, I actually might have a shot to get a job. Because my shit is all intermedia. But my shit's actually philosophical and like not trying to be like. So here's what this other guy. So one of the better guys is named Charlie Peck, and he's from Cornell. He got a Guggenheim, which is like some kind of a lot of money, like I don't know, like $50,000 given to you.
Yeah.
And his project was to go onto a blank space, a blank concert hall, set up some a totally pitch black, like a black box theater, set up a bunch of white tubular like LED lights, then record someone playing the marimba and snare drums, and then he would take a video of that and he would chop the video up, okay? And his whole thing that he used to do, did you know him? He came to East Carolina University. He won the orchestral composition thing. Anyway, so he chops up all the videos, and the whole video is like, you know those Instagram videos where it's like really stuttery video, like ooh, you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen that stuff? Where like the image and the thing is like jittering, you know what I mean? Anyways, it's like popular on Instagram right now. So that's what he would do with sound. He would take recorded violin sounds, and he would with his recorded violin sounds, he would like chop up samples, put it into a DAW, then compose with the samples in really chopped up ways, and then notate that and give it to an orchestra. So that was like his big strategy. Okay? So when he does video, he just assumed that aural perception and video perception are the same. Like he didn't think about it at all. He just thought, I can just take video of stuff and chop it up to 2 milliseconds and then just do a jittery video. And so the big thing that he showed for his job talk was someone playing a marimba jumping all around the stage. So imagine a woman's playing a marimba and there's like 4 marimbas set up, and she plays a note one place and then suddenly she's on the other side of the concert hall playing another note. This shit is old as fuck. This is like the oldest, dumbest thing that, I mean, it's just such an easy strategy. Like I've seen this on YouTube like in 2008. Like it's just like, it's like someone who just figured out that video editing works, like that you can do video editing. And it's like, but what he didn't realize is that sound and video don't work the same. Like when you look at an image, there's more, it takes a little bit longer to process. If you do an image of 16th notes like da 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 da, okay, you do that as an image, it's really hard to tell what's inside the image. Like, but if you do da 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 as a sound, that's not really a problem. You can process that very quickly. There's no problem with that. And so this guy like just didn't understand that like you can't just assume that visuals have the same like fidelity for our senses as sound does. And so he's just doing all this, and he's like, it was so cringy. He was like, wow, I'm about to like overstimulate you guys. And it wasn't overstimulating. It was just like, imagine you see a blackness, a black, mostly black and then white stuff, and then you just see someone in a dress just popping around the concert hall. But if you close your eyes, it just sounds like his same old jittery music that he's ever done. And it's like, you got a fucking Guggenheim to do this. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you don't even understand intermediate. Like, he's not really intermediate. He's treating everything like it's sound. And this is the guy that's probably going to get the job. And it's just like, what in the fuck is going on here? Like, this has nothing to do with anything. I mean, it doesn't, these people aren't good. Like, he's not interesting. His piece had nothing to do with, not that everything has to be about philosophy or some deeper meaning, but it was literally just music. It's like, and you ask him like, what is it about? And all of his pieces are titled like the dumbest shit I've ever heard, just like Starburst or like Ripple and Shade, like Rippling, like Sunshine. It's just like, Jesus Christ, man, like people are dying every day, and like all your pieces are just about like, I saw a mountain on my trip, and the mountain therefore was beautiful. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's not the 19th century anymore. Like the internet happened. Like, like there's authoritarian governments everywhere. Like we're in a dystopia, and like you just want to talk about like Ripple and Shade. Like I don't get it, man. And so this is the guy who's probably gonna get it. The next guy is David Byrd. All right, he's the better candidate, but it's between him and David Byrd. So the other guy that might get it is this guy named David Byrd. He's from Columbia. Okay, so that's a pretty good school. He was better. So he was an intermediate guy as well. He did a flashlight piece where and it's kind of cool. He designed a flashlight. He designed a flashlight that was hooked up to some batteries, and he made a wire. He made a wire go in to the battery, and then hooked that up to max MSP, and made it so that max MSP could trigger when the flashlights go. And then he had a bunch of performers in a dark room, and the performers would shine the flashlights around the room in a dark place while he did like live electronics with cello. Pretty cool. Pretty cool piece. At least he was treating light like it was light. He wasn't treating light like sound. Like the lights weren't just going like it was like, oh, the lights like turn on and you use the light in a spatial way, and like it's not just like someone, it was like, okay, he understands that sound is different than light. But his piece was also just like I said, and I know I used to hate political pieces. I don't know if we ever talked about it. Remember, I used to say like, I don't know, I used to believe that. Now I'm the opposite. I'm like, if you're gonna make a piece of art, like to me, it's like if you're gonna say you're an academic and you're gonna make scholarly art, like how could you have your pieces be this apolitical like bullshit? I don't know. And to me, here's the real kicker of the whole thing is, have you ever been to a DJ? Have you ever been to a video DJ, like a disc jockey with a video DJ there as well? Have you been listening? Because did you realize I asked you a question?
No, I did. Have I ever been to a DJ? Just ask a question. I know.
Have you ever been to like a DJ, but there was also a video DJ there, a VJ?
No, actually not. I mean, I've been to like performances type of thing.
It's like,
what?
You know what I'm talking about? Like the VJ will have a bunch of lasers, and they'll have like a big screen, and it'll be like really psychedelic screen. Mm-hmm. It'll just be like all these patterns.
Yeah,
that's Coachella shit. Like it's really popular now. So David Byrd's his big pieces are kind of like that. Like one of the pieces he did is like a big VJ thing. There's no meaning really. It's just like patterns moving around, which is fine. But to me, it's like, okay, you're going to call yourself a scholarly academic composer, and our music's supposed to be about thinking, right? It's supposed to be showing that we can think things, and like we did this and we've sat in a room for years, and like we're kind of cloistered away, and like we're academics, and sorry, that's what we are. Like, I know it's not perfect, but it's like, but then that's what David Byrd's doing. It's like he's just being a video DJ, and it's like, okay, man, like, number one, people do it way better than you do. Like, Coachella does it better than you. I'm sorry, like, Coachella has more money than you, and there's hundreds of thousands of people who go there every year, and they're better than you. So, like, what are you trying to do? Like, you're trying to compete with Coachella, so like, is that the sadness of our medium? Is that we're just a bunch of people who aren't as good as the Coachella people, but we want to be them, and so we get a PhD so that we can get $50,000 a year if we're lucky, and like make Coachella music? It's just like, I don't get it, man. It's just like, okay, then why don't you just go do that yourself? Because you're probably from a rich family anyways. So it's like, just go do that. But no, it's probably just like people who are like, just like really effeminate men who like don't want to get a real job and don't want to actually do anything and just want to be like a professor. And it's just, so it's really annoying, man. It's just like depressing to watch. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, your music's not self critical. You're not addressing any political issues that are going on in the world. And I don't know, it's depressing. And that's so it's either going to be the guy who literally doesn't even understand that sound and visuals are different, or the guy who at least understands that sound and visuals are different, but is literally just trying to be like this Coachella guy, like just a VJ guy who makes patterns on the wall to really cool. And I will say his electronic music is really good, but it's like, it's just sound, which is fine, but it's not critical. It's not conceptual. It's not conceptual art. It's not critical. It's not scholarly. And so it's just really depressing, man. And it's just like, this is shit. This is stupid. But it also gives me hope because I'm like, I do shit that's actually like criticizing something. Like, my last piece was about neoliberalism and that the world's falling apart. And I poured blood on a nude guy as I played a clip of the U.S. government cheering while they released another thing, a plane to bomb people. Like, I'm at least listening to the world around me and thinking critically about it and being like, let's wake up to the fact that we have a military-industrial complex that's murdering people every day, and it's only getting worse. And it's just like, this guy just wants to like be a Coachella guy, and it's like, why don't you just go do that instead of taping up MySpace? Like, I don't know, man. Am I being too harsh? Like, what do you even care about? Like, what do you think?